Hey, welcome to Scott Merriman's Merriman Archery Supply YouTube channel. Hopefully, you get something out of this. I'm just a backwoods guy. I've been doing this for a little over 20 years. And what I've learned is just the enjoyment of having a fun hobby, going out in the woods, and hopefully bringing home some meat. So, I just wanted to start early this year with some broadhead tuning. And at 40 yards away, shooting my bow, which is a PSE Mach 30 DS with the EC2 cams, set at 60 pounds, 28-inch draw, and I'm shooting with Ultra Arrows, Centrum 166, 400 spine with the Arcos insert outsert system. I fletched it with 3 fletch using the AAE Max Stealth, blue and 2 yellows, and I got the Ultra Nox in them. The broadheads I'm using a QAD Exodus fixed blade, and it weighed in at 100.2 grains. And then the other fixed head blade was a Montec carbon steel, and it came in at 102 grains. And then a T2 from G5, and it came in at 100.6 grains. And then the final one was a Slick Trick Assailant Hybrid, and that was exactly 100 grains. So looking at this target here, the one that is almost, it's just to the right of the one right up in the black area in between the two blue, that's where my field point went at 40 yards. And then the next one right here, that's the QAD Exodus. And as you can tell, because here's the field point, and then QAD Exodus, same elevation, just way to the right. And then here's my Montec carbon steel, same thing, good elevation, just way to the right. And this one down here, that's the T2, and then the Assailant was right here, low left. So my preference is the Assailant. I like the hybrid. You get a good cut with it. It's over a 2-inch cut, just like the T2, but yet it still has bleeders. So it's like a schwacker. It opens up once it gets inside the animal, but you still got the bleeders that will open up upon entry, and so you get a decent hole at the opening on contact, but a larger hole when it exits. If it doesn't exit, it's opening up and it's doing some damage to well placed shot. Something to know on my bow, I'm using a Hamsky hybrid Hunter Pro micro tune, and I'm using a Noctuit thumb release. The bow itself, I thought it was tuned, but I can tell you that it needs to be really tuned. Uh, my center shot wasn't quite perfect. So what I ended up having to do is tune my bow, come back out of the woods and back home, and then actually put it on my bow press back there and my vise, and got everything back into where it's supposed to be. I thought it was pretty tuned, but it wasn't. That's one thing I can honestly say is you need to be pretty spot on paper tuned all the way through. So when I got done, I had that assailant hitting right with my field tip. I mean, they're side by side, so there's no complaints there. The others, the T2, still kept dropping just slightly under, and then the Montec and the Exodus was still just a little bit to the left. So I would have had to micro tune my rest over. But basically, how you micro tune the rest is where it's nice with the clicks. You can turn around and you can just, I mean, you just barely need to move your rest. That's one thing I found out by getting the assailant to hit right next to my field tip. It was literally 1/32 of an inch. Where I got all this information is from just old timers back when I first started archery hunting. Uh, they were telling me you just barely move it. Back then, we used bows that. Let's see if I can get one. This was my first bow ever, first compound bow that I went hunting with. It's a PSE Nova Vector 4 Game Sport. And the rest on this, you just loosen it and you just moved it. There was no micro tuning or anything. The sights were pins, and you had to actually paint the pins. So this is what I hunted with. And it's a 60-pound bow. Great bow. Just it's loud. I shot it with fingers. I didn't use a release back then, and then uh, one guy taught me how to use it. So is next thing that you got to remember is when you micro tune, if you move it more than a 30 second, say like you go to an eighth, so and it goes way off to the opposite, you're going in the right spot, but you need to bring it back. So try to bring it back and just keep playing with it. Just get it there and enjoy the fundamentals of how to learn to do that. Just keep in mind proper tuning of the bow. If you're close to the Plumas County and the Plumas County areas, Lassen County, Tehama County, Northern California, just hit me up. I'm going to be opening my own little shop here. I'm not going to be selling bows yet. I mean, I can get bows. Elite is what I'm going through, uh, and ultra arrows. You can reach out to me. My email will be attached to this video, and we'll set it up where I can get your bow here. I don't paper tune. You'll have to come and paper tune. I don't I don't believe that I'm going to be able to hold the bow, grip the bow the same way as you do. So if you want your stuff tuned and ready to go, I'm willing to work with you, and we'll get you set up. Otherwise, there's plenty of videos out there. Uh, I took what I learned from the old timers, my uncle and guys that I hunted with that just knew this stuff. If and took that, and then when you go and watch these videos, like John Dudley of Knock On, phenomenal, great resource. MFJJ Podium Archery, another great resource. There's plenty of good resources out there. Just just watch it and learn. What I can say, the further back you go, because when I first started this, I shot at 20 and they were all grouping right next to my field point, and I kept moving back and I could see it spreading out. Once I hit 40 yards, that on the screen is what I got at 40 yards. I did that 3 times and got virtually the same thing. So I had to micro tune my rest. Now, when I micro tune my rest to what my fixed points, the Q8E and the Montec and the T2 were, when I move, remember, what you're doing is you're moving your rest following your broadheads. So I had to move, well, just over an eighth inch, and I got the fixed blades to be within an inch and a half, 2 inches of the field point. And then I want to use the assailant, so that's what I'm using is the assailant. So I went back to where I was and then moved it to the right 1/32 of an inch, and I brought those two together. Phenomenal, and that's what I'm gonna stay with. Next time I'm going to go out, I'm going to be using my Elite Exalt 35, and I'm going to try that. Uh, on my PSE Mach 30, I'm using the Spot Hog Fast Eddy triple stack, and love that sight. Just super heavy, but on that bow, it's still lighter than my other bows. Uh, then, like I said, I love the Ultra arrows. I've shot plenty of FMJs and 5.0s and axes. Great arrows, not gonna knock them one bit. But for what I get out of the ultras, so far they've been ultra consistent. I really like them. Yeah, tough as nails. I can tell you that much. I've only broken one arrow, and well, two arrows. One by hitting a cement just to see how tough the thing was, and it ended up breaking the about 4 inches from the end. Snapped the arrow, and the other one is I basically Robin Hood an arrow. So there, nothing you can do with that. But other than that, if you like this, please like, share, subscribe. Let me know in comments what you think of it. Other than that, welcome to my channel. Hope this was somewhat informative to you and that you can enjoy it. I'm gonna show you guys the bad stuff and the good stuff. Make a bad shot, you're gonna see the bad shot. So in the future, that's what you're gonna see. All right. Have a good one.